Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? Hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Saturday. I'm having a good day today. Are you guys having a good day? And my day is kind of coming to an end. And after this, Alex will be coming home soon. He is at lunch with his girlfriend right now. So that allowed me to film some videos today, and I had a great time filming videos today. And I talked to my neighbor for a long time outside. And then I think when he gets home, I don't know if I'll take a nap later tonight or if I'll take a nap earlier tonight. I had kind of forgotten, Nikki texted me earlier that we lose an hour tonight because it's daylight savings time. I kind of completely forgot. Like last week I knew it, and then I completely forgot that it was today. For some reason I thought it was, I should know this because of like back in the day when we would like, you know, when I was going out on Saturday nights and stuff like that. I always knew which Saturdays it like, you know, went forward and fell back because when it falls back in the fall, you get an extra hour to like be out at the clubs, you know. This is how my mind thought back in the day. It doesn't anymore. And when in the spring you lose an hour, so you want to go out earlier so you know you can get more time out. It's kind of funny. But now I'm just pissed because it's going to be less time that I'm going to have to watch my shows and read tonight. So maybe I'll skip a nap tonight, but probably doubtful because I love my naps. I love my naps any day, but especially on the weekends. Tonight, Alex and I will probably watch RuPaul's Drag Race and Untucked, unless he wants to save it till tomorrow. It just kind of depends on how he feels when he gets home tonight. So anyway, also speaking of Nikki, today is Nikki's birthday. Happy birthday, Nikki. Yesterday, well, my sister-in-law's birthday was a couple days ago, but we had the birthday party for it last night, and today is Nikki's birthday, so happy birthday to Nikki. I was the very first person to say happy birthday to her last night. We were at my brother and sister-in-law's house last night for Liliana's birthday party, and we were all like around the kitchen table like talking, and somebody hit the phone, like their phone, and I looked over and it said 11:59, and I was like, you know, like when you know something, like daylight savings time, but you don't know what, and it was like 11:59, I was like, why did I want to remember midnight? Because I always like with Tanya and all my friends, I always like want to be, my mom was always like the first person to wish me a happy birthday at midnight, so I always like to be like the first person to wish somebody a happy birthday, you know? And so I was like, what is midnight? I was like, oh, it's Nikki's birthday. It's Nikki's birthday. And so, yeah, so I like ran and texted her. I was like, am I the first person? And she's like, yeah, she's like, you are. So anyway, but today has been like so laid back, and I'm really excited tonight to read a lot, to watch some shows. Ideally, I would like to finish Station 11 tonight because there are so many shows that I want to watch. But I have a feeling that that is probably not going to happen tonight. I don't know. I've been like so into like reading lately that I look at the clock on the DVR or whatever that is down there, and before I know it, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I'm still reading, and I'm like, okay, well that gives me like 2 hours to watch shows, 2 or 3 hours to watch shows. But anyway. So, okay, let's get oriented here for the day. So, happy Saturday. How are you? Okay, I have my coffee. I just went and put some iced coffee. This is my first coffee of the day. I just put some iced coffee in my sobriety mug. I actually, like, filled it to the very top, so I had to sip it. And then I had to, like, some got out on so I had to clean up the whole kitchen. And gotta clean, you know, I like the kitchen to always kind of be, like, straightened up a little bit. So, got my coffee. Ready to have my coffee while I talk to you guys. Deliciosa. And it is currently 5:23 p.m. Alex said he would probably be home between like 6:30 and 7:30. So they went to like a late brunch lunch in Fisher's. It's like he and like 4 of his girlfriends, and then one of his other girlfriends like joined them later. And then they had like lunch there, and then they went somewhere else. They were going to get together earlier in the day, but then I think they all slept in or something because he ended up leaving later. So anyway, but they're having a good time. He was like, do you care if I go? I was like, no, because I can film some videos today. And I actually did not film as many videos as I wanted to, so I'll probably film some tomorrow too. I actually have like 5 videos that I wanted to film today, including my vlog, but I wanted to do a review of The Comfort of Crows on my BookTube channel. I didn't get to that. I wanted to do a Peterisms video. I didn't get to that. But my Shy Wolf candle unboxing came, so I did that. I did a drama video. And then, oh, I got something at the gas station last night on our way to Carlos and Liliana's. I had Alex stop so I could get a fountain pop. And so I hardly ever get fountain pops anymore. It's so crazy because that was such a huge thing back in the day that I would always get like fountain pops at the gas station. But I don't really like leave, and if I do, I don't really ever have a reason to go to the gas station. And so last night I said to Alex, I said, can you pull into the gas station, which is a Speedway up the street, because I needed to get more of these lighters. These are the ones that I light the candles with. And I was like almost, like the last one that I had was like dying out. And so I needed to get more of these, and then I also wanted to get a fountain pop. And when I was in the gas station, I found some things to review. Which then I later told Nikki, and Nikki was like, those have been out for a while. And I told Tanya, and she's like, yeah, those have been out for a while. Some people brought them into the kennel. I was like, well, I don't ever go to the gas station, so I don't know what's new and what's not new. But I was real excited about it anyway. So anyway, so yeah, I had some videos I wanted to make, but I ended up talking to my neighbor for a long time today. My neighbor across the street, the griller. So we were just kind of like catching up and stuff like that. I was telling him about the pickleball courts. He's like, what's going on with the pickleball courts? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, have they painted the lines yet? I said, no, I just walked up there the other day. Because on my Peter Does Stuff channel the other day, I did a video where I walked in the neighborhood. And I said, yeah, I walked up there the other day, and I said, one court is done. He goes, I said, the courts look nice. They look like, he goes, did they freshly paint the courts? I said, I don't know. And he said, but they haven't painted the other court. And I go, no, only one court has the pickleball lines on it. Because I was asking him, like, when does pickleball start? I'm actually kind of thinking about, I was talking to him about this today. I said, how good do I have to be to play pickleball? He goes, nobody on the league is good at all. He goes, you could start and have, he goes, some of the people that start have like never played before. He goes, you have to have no experience whatsoever. So it's going to depend on when the days and the times are, but I'm thinking about joining the pickleball league this summer. I think it would be fun, you know? So there's that. Last summer, I thought about putting together like a book reading club where we each just talk about like the book that we're going to read. My neighbor and I talked about this. The book that we're going to read, like that we're currently reading. And that never happened. She and I, when the pool closed, we're going to continue and we were going to read that Alien, Barbarian, those romance, those sexy time books. We never did that. So she and I, we seem to see each other a lot. I mean, every video that I make outside, I see her, and we've been like running into each other a lot. And so I said to her the other day, she goes, something about, I asked her what she was reading, and she goes, we still have to read those books. I said, well, like, let's just like wait till the summer, and then we can talk about them in the pool and stuff like that. She's like, that's a good idea. She said, do you think anybody else in the neighborhood would want to read them? And I said, so do you guys know what the books I'm talking about are? Okay, so I feel like I'm kind of all over the place today. I just was really excited about getting on here today and talking Alien, Barbarian. Here it is, books by Ruby Dixon. Okay, so Barbarian Alien. This is, okay, Ice Planet Barbarian. So that's number 2. The first one, we'll go and look at the first one. I think I've read this on here before. Okay, the first one, I'm pulling it up on Goodreads. The first one is called Ice Planet Barbarians. That book, that romance book that I bought the other day, the one about, it looks like a cowboy, I don't know, whatever that book is. But anyway, I have it on Audible, and I also have 2 copies of it here. So, Ice Planet Barbarians. When did it come out? 2015. Do you guys know this book? Okay. You'd think being abducted by aliens would be the worst thing that could happen to me, and you'd be wrong, because now the aliens are having ship trouble, and they've left their cargo of human women, including me, on Ice Planet. And the only native inhabitant I've met, he's big, horned, blue, and really has a thing for me. Romance, science fiction, fantasy, aliens, so erotica, it says on here. So we're going to read the book. So I said to her, I said, my neighbor on the corner that we hang out with, like, she comes up there when Caroline and I go up there sometimes, and I, hang out with her and her friend and whatever. She's the one, besides my neighbor next door, she's the one that I go to the pool the most. But last summer, she couldn't because she had started a new job. So this summer, she's, like, got her whole schedule worked out to go to the pool. So I said she might want to read those books because she'll read kind of like anything. So we want to see if we can get, like, 3 or 4 people to read the books that we can, like, talk at the pool about. How many books are in this series? I mean, maybe we'll just read one of them. We won't want to read any more of them. Sheila, oh my God, there's so many of them. There's like 0.2, oh my God. Oh my God. there's like 16, there's 22 books. Oh my gosh. Well, if I like them, that's going to put me through the summer of reading this. Right now, I'm reading that Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeffer. It is so good. I mean, the writing is kind of cheesy and corny, and I mean, it's about a 15-year-old girl, but it's apocalyptic. I love any apocalyptic stories. So, anyway. So yeah, so I didn't get the videos filmed that I wanted to get today because I was talking to him, and I literally went outside to get the mail, and he was like, oh, I was wanting to talk to you. And I was like, okay. I noticed that his wife's car, he gets real lonely, and his wife's car was gone from the garage. And so I said, oh, you know, where's she at? And he said, oh, she's out at brunch with, it was right after Alex had left. And he said, she was out to brunch with her girlfriends. And I said, oh, where did they go? And he was telling me like where they went to brunch. And I said, oh, Alex went to brunch with his girlfriends today, like right over there. And so then he was kind of like catching me up. They're having their bathroom redone. And so the guy that they have that does, like, they swear by this guy. And he's like, yeah, like, you should have him come over, and because everybody in our neighborhood knows we're getting ready to do like this, well, whenever it starts, it's going to be like this continuous massive rehaul. And so he's like, you should have him come over and give you an estimate. Their downstairs bathroom that literally has a sink and a toilet in it, he's been there for 2.5 months. He's very meticulous. His work is beautiful. His work is absolutely, my neighbor's contractor guy. And he goes, oh, and his drywall, because he knows that we got to do the basement drywall and everything like that. He's like, his drywall is beautiful. It's seamless. There's like no seams. He's like, I just love to look at his drywall. He does such a great job. So he's like, yeah, he's like, he is really good. You need to have him come over there and look at your house and stuff like that. He's like, he's really fair. I mean, we're going to try to get bids from a lot of different people. So he's going to leave his card in my mailbox for me. But anyway, I mean, I've met the guy and talked to him a couple times. He is really nice. He and his girlfriend, about once an hour, come out and sit in the driveway in their pickup truck and smoke cigarettes. So when I was out there, like, they've done a lot of work on the house since they moved in there. So like when I would take Boo out there, and even, you know, Tucker, I would see them and he'd wave, and he was super friendly. He's really friendly, really nice guy. I think that is one of the things that's going to be important because I'm here all the time. So whoever we have, because he was asking me that today, he was like, where are you guys going to start on your redo? And I said, we have to start with the basement. And he was like, okay, why? And I said, because I have to have a place to film videos, and like if they're working up here or upstairs, it's going to be loud, so I have to be able to have like a closed off space to film videos. He's like, yeah, I never thought of that. And I said, we also have to kind of like figure out the timing of it, because like to do it in the winter, I can't go outside to film, but if they're in here, then I could go on the back patio or just go out. I mean, I've talked to both my neighbors about it. They're like, Peter, could care less if you're out in the backyard filming unless you care that the dogs are running around, which I don't think, I think that would be kind of funny, you know? Because if we do it, we're not going to do it this summer. So if we do it in the summer, we started it in the summer, like if we started it like April, May, then I could film videos outside while they were working in here. I mean, it's going to be loud, you know? So, and they're going to have the garage probably, because most contractors work out of the garage, you know? So anyway, I was just talking about that. But then we started talking about the pickleball. I said, when does pickleball season start? Because I've been thinking about maybe starting in the league. And he goes, I don't know when it's going to start yet. He goes, it has to do with when the pickleball lines are painted on the court, because we need both courts. And I said, and then he got into the story again about the pickleball courts and all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, I was just down there the other day and the courts look great. He goes, what do you mean the courts look great? They painted the lines? I said, they didn't paint the lines, but the court, I don't know if you guys saw that video, but it looked like they were freshly painted. And he goes, did they freshly paint the courts and not put the lines on there? And I said, the lines are not on. I don't know how he asked me, but anyway, basically asked me if I said, the lines are not on there, but the courts look freshly painted. I mean, they're always a little damaged in the winter. It's interesting because we didn't really have that bad of a winter this year. But like when I was coming back from the meeting on Tuesday night, and Alex and I, where were we when we were coming back from somewhere the other day? And Caroline and I, there are so many potholes around, not just in our neighborhood, but like all around this area in Indianapolis. I mean, there always are, but it's like we didn't really have that much ice and snow this year for there to be a lot of potholes. So the courts are usually a little damaged in the winter, and they have to like freshen them up. I thought when I went down there the other day, I thought the pickleball courts looked fantastic, except for there were no pickleball lines in there. So he started going, he's like, when are they going to do that? He's like, well, we can't start the pickleball league until the lines are painted. And first you have to paint and I guess this is like this big deal, because they have to take a bid. And this is how you work in like an HOA. so that you have to take a bid on who is going to do the painting. And then you have to hire the person to do the painting. Then they have to come out, and then they have to schedule it. So, I mean, it could be like another month, which then that will be huge, huge pickleball and HOA drama. Then he was like standing by my mailbox, and I was standing in the driveway, and he looked down at my yard, and he was like, your yard is just as bad as ours. And I go, what do you mean? Well, I thought, okay, so we got this email. I don't really understand it. Here. I'm gonna actually pull it up. We got this email about the yards and our landscaping, and he was talking about it, and I didn't really, let me look it up here. I have to look it up by the, what her name is. Here she is. Okay, so here it is. Landscape repairs. We are aware there is damage to the landscape from snow removal and the mail truck over the winter. Okay, so that would refer to the edge of the lawn, okay, like where the mail truck can't see, where, you know, and then them removing snow. But people are complaining about the middle of our yards. They don't really understand. Like, it was funny because I was talking, like, showing the yard in my video that I did yesterday, feeding the squirrels, and somebody commented, it's like, what happened to your yard? We don't really know. My neighbor and I are like, do we have moles? I'm like, well, the only reason I know about moles is because I read that book that Teresa sent me called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. And my neighbor was like, well, what's underneath our ground? What is it? I said, I don't know. It's like, I mean, the ground is torn up. We have no idea why it's that way. I don't really care. I mean, the yard in back is fine, but I mean, I don't really look out that much anyway. But the yard out front is like, it's not like I stand in the yard. I mean, I sit on the front porch and I look out at it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm, but some of these neighbors go crazy about the yard and the specifics of the yard. And they, I mean, they're already having conversations about what the yard's going to look like and this summer, and are we getting different landscapers and stuff like that. So this is the email we got. We are aware there is damage to the landscape from snow removal and the mail truck over the winter. Mel just texted me, happy Saturday, how's it going? The landscaping manager is working with this landscaping company, which is the new landscaping company that nobody likes, to make repairs over the next few weeks. Thanks for your page. Oh, that's why I saw her walking the last 2 days. And I was like, she never really walks this way. Every once in a while she does, but I never see her really walk. She lives like on the other side of, like, my neighbor across the street, they're on the lake. She lives like on the other side of the lake, but not on the lake. She lives on the other lake, on the other side. So like, if you go around this way, she's like on the other side of the street. So she doesn't really ever walk over here. My nose is itching me like crazy. She doesn't ever really walk over here. So when she does, and she was walking with purpose. She was like this when she was walking. And I was like, is she just exercising? And I was sitting out there and she didn't look over and say anything to me. I don't even think I was filming when I was doing it. And usually she always looks over. She looked like she was like on purpose. So, and I've seen her twice. So that must be, she must be like she must be evaluating the lawns in the neighborhood. Well, she needs to come over and look at our yard because our yard looks really bad. I don't really care. After reading the Margaret Wrinkle books, which by the way, somebody direct messaged me. I felt so bad. And they said, it was such a cute message, but they were trying to order the book online. And they said that they had looked up wrinkle, and they were spelling Margaret Wrinkle, W-R-I-N-K-L-E, like a wrinkle on your forehead. But it's actually R-E-N-K-L is how you spell it. So I apologize that I never said, people are probably looking at Margaret Wrinkle. I mean, you could just look up the Comfort of Crows. But anyway, I thought that was such a cute message that somebody sent me. But anyway, since reading that book, and now also reading like Late Migrations, I mean, she talks a lot about the same kind of things. I'm all into the messy yard. If the bird feed falls and the birds poop in our yard, it's whatever, you know, like I'm not bent out of shape about that. In fact, last night I was going to talk about the cricket in the basement. I think we have one cricket left, and I know we have mice in the garage. I don't know how many mice we have. I think we might have like 2 little mice in the garage or something like that that are like staying there over the winter. But like that's stuff that used to like would drive me crazy back in the day. It doesn't. I'm like now I'm just like, you know what? The mice and the crickets are my friends. So, but anyway, that must be what why she's taking her walks around the neighborhood. Thank you for your patience while we work toward the start of a beautiful spring. Okay. I mean, they send out emails all the time about stuff in this neighborhood. It cracks me up. And what's so funny is that, like, I'll ask Alex, I'll be like, did you get the email? And he'll go, about the yard. I'll say, yeah. And he'll just start laughing. I'll go, what do you think? He'll go, what do you mean, what do I think? I'll be like, what do you think about the email? And he'll say, I don't have any thoughts about the email. Well, people in the neighborhood, he just starts laughing because he knows that, like, I'm standing out there talking. And so I said to him the other day, because he said something, I said, listen, I said, she's 31. I said, and she has just the same concerns. It's not just an old person thing. And he just started laughing. He goes, no, he goes, it's because you guys are bored and you just like to stand out there and talk in the streets because you two are the worst. I go, we are not. She really does want to run for the HOA board, though. She said it one day. She was like, I really want to run for the HOA board. And I go, no, you don't. And then she goes, no, I don't. She goes, I mean, like, I'd like to be in it. She goes, I said, well, we could just go to the annual meeting. And she goes, but they're not going to listen to us unless we're on the board. I said, first of all, listen. I said, we're not going to get voted into the board, okay? The people that get voted in, this is where people are like, Peter, you should run for the board. I could run for the board 10 years in a row and I would never get voted in, okay? I mean, I have a select few friends, like pool lady friends, my neighbors. But the people that get voted in are friends with people that are already on the board, okay? The one friend I had was my pool crew lady across the street, and she was she didn't want to be on the crew. She didn't want to be on the crew. She didn't want to be on the HOA board anymore because she said that it just went hours and hours and hours in their monthly meeting. And she was a secretary, so she'd have to take all the notes. And she's like, the stuff they bring up is just ridiculous. She's like, you'd think that they just sit out there just to come up with ideas of stuff to, like, keep us there. She's like, you know, we'll get to the end of a meeting and they'll be like, you know, well, does anybody else have, you know, because she's the one that's like running the meetings, and she'll say, does anybody else have a topic for concern? And then somebody will be like, well, you know, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I did notice that in front of Judy Smith's house, there's been quite a few rocks there lately. And she's just like, oh my God. So she served her term and she's off. She didn't ask, like, they always ask to be, like, re-voted in. So a lot of the people on the board have switched positions like 6 times, okay? Like, they started off as the secretary, then they were the treasurer, then they were this, and they were the president. And once you're the president, you have to leave the board. I think it's for 2 years, but then you can come back on the board. You can either come back on the board, and then you go through all those again. I think you just can't serve as the president twice, because the past presidents are alumni presidents, and they get to sit on the... listen, I would rather sit in the pool and complain and gossip about it than actually, and so would most of the other people in the neighborhood, than to actually, you know, it's not like me being on the board is going to change anything. I said that to her. I said, because she said to me, the landscaping manager said, you really should run for, well, that's when I found out they couldn't get anybody to be on the board. I was like, why is she asking me? So when I talked to my neighbor across the street, I said to her, you know, like, I was thinking kind of like, you know, I really was for a second kind of thinking about it. And she said, I'm telling you, Peter, she's like, it's going to drive you crazy. She's like, I know you. She's like, you're just going to sit there. And she was like, and you're just going to lose your mind over it. She's like, and nothing gets changed because of the board. She's like, nothing, like, because the only thing that ever gets changed is when they actually put something up for a vote. And then what they do is they put all the ballots in the mailbox and then we vote on it. She's like, that's really the only time anything gets changed. She's like, it's pointless, you know? With the pool this year, though, we got approval from the president to swim later last year. And that was at the end of the summer that we got approval to swim later. So we're going to start that earlier this year to swim later. We're not messing around waiting for the whole summer. We're getting prepared. We're getting HOA prepared for spring and summer is what we're doing. So anyway, let me text Mel back really quick. I will tell her I am vlogging the vlog of love. Hey. I put just vlogging, but I didn't put a G on it. So it said vlogging. Just vlogging. So he and I were talking about the pickleball courts, and then I thought I heard the garage door go up. And then he got real frustrated with the yards, and he was talking about the yards, and he was like, and I don't really know what they're gonna fix. Well, the other thing is that beside their house, okay, I told you about the gas company and stuff a couple weeks ago. So their neighbors, well, okay, so they're across the street. Then my pool crew lady is on the corner, her and her husband. Then next to them is my other pool crew lady that was at the lake all last summer. So that pool crew lady and her husband, they had a gas line break. And so the gas people were out here fixing it, like all one day, and then something else happened. They came out here the next day. My neighbor across the street, she was out in her garden in the back, and she smelled it. Like she was just like figuring out what she was going to do for her garden this spring, and she smelled it, and so another like something had broken. So they came out here and they fixed it. But when they fixed it, they had to like dig up the ground. Did I put this in a video? I thought no, she just walked me over there. You can't even walk back because it's so muddy. So between my pool crew lady and my second pool crew lady, it like there's a not a walkway, but there's probably like 20 feet that goes between their houses, because they're like on the corner of this lake, and then it backs up right to the willow tree where I film behind my neighbor's yard. That whole area back there now is all dug up. Like they dug it all up, and there's like all these like pipes and stuff showing, but then it's just mud. It's just massive mud back there. And so they're supposed to fix that too. And so he was talking about how like they're supposed to come out here and fix that. They're supposed to like plant seedling and lay like what down. He's like, well, you need it for your yard too, just like we need it for our yard. And I was like, well, what's wrong with your yard? And he's like, can't you see? And so I went over and I looked, and most of his yard is her garden. And so there's like probably a 5-foot path to the right, but then that's my neighbor in the corner anyway. So people are not happy with these landscapers. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be, oh, she texted me back. She said, hi, vlog. I'm gonna text her back and say they said hi. They said hi. So it's gonna be one more summer with this landscaping company. I mean, there are so many people complaining about it. I think the misconception is like, because you know, Alex and I'll hear her and I talk about it, but that's all he ever hears. He doesn't hear me like, you know, with like the neighbors and whatever, because like I'll, you know, be on the front porch, she'll come over and talk to me for a second or whatever. He hears that, and he knows her and like friends with her as well. So but like he doesn't, like when I'm talking to the other neighbors on the street, I'm just like, oh really? Like I just let them talk, and I just like take it all in. And then I tell her everything. I like text her, I'll be like, oh my god, did you hear about the pickleball court lines? And then we just get like laughing so hard and stuff like that. You know, it's when you have a boring life in the suburbs, in the small HOA community neighborhood. Oh, what did she say? She said, haha. So, all right, we'll put that out for a while. We'll put her to the side for a second. Bye, Mel. Bye, Mel, till I'm done. So, I talked to him, and then I talked to him for a long time. And then when I came in, because I said to him something about when are you going to start grilling again? He goes, it's not ready yet for that. I go, well, when will it be? He goes, it's going to have to be a little bit warmer for the grilling. I said, okay, okay. So I said, well, I was kind of surprised because what's the temperature today? It was actually a little bit warmer today. It seemed a little bit warmer. Watch, I'll look on here and it won't be. Indianapolis weather. Oh, it's 48. It's 48 right now. So yeah, it was warmer. I said to him, I said, there weren't a lot of people walking and stuff like that today. And I said, well, people are going to start coming out. He goes, what did he say? 70 on Tuesday. This is what he said. He goes, 70 on Tuesday. I go, 70 on Tuesday? Oh, my husband is calling me. Well, let me stop this really quick, and I will, where am I at on time? And I will take his call, and I will be back in 2 and 2. Okay, I'm back. So he was just checking in to let me know what's going on. They're going over to their friend's house, and they're going to play some games over there and stuff like that. And he was like, if I stay over here for a while, do you want to come out here? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm going to read tonight. I'm going to watch some shows. And he's like, okay. And he's like, are you sure you don't want to come out here? I said, no, I'm totally good. Like, I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to relax. And I am going to watch some shows and stuff like that. I said, so just keep me updated on what's going on. He was like, okay. So anyway, so yeah, so in talking to my neighbor, and he was just like, I don't know, like everybody is, I don't even know what I've been on the phone with him for like 5 minutes, so I don't even know what I was talking about before, but I have a this is what I was saying before I get into all that. I have a feeling that the landscaping company is probably going to only make it one more season. Like, I think this will be the last season with this landscaping company. It was kind of a favor to the landscaping manager because she knew the people that like own the landscaping company. So this is what happened. We like had this huge landscaping company in Indianapolis that did our lawns, and they did a fantastic job. And you could also hire them out to do like just your walkway and pay them like $100, $200 to do your walkway. And they would be done in like an hour. I mean, they literally had so many people that were working in their crew that they were just like, they'd come out here and they would be done in like 4 hours. They would do like people's walkways and stuff like that. So then they wanted to get a cheaper landscaping company because, I don't know, maybe this company was too expensive. I don't really know. I haven't really looked into the details of it. But I don't think it was like a huge drastic cut. But then they wanted to, I think that landscaping company closed down. And so then they put out bids. This was like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was 5 years ago, something like that. Then they put out bids on like bigger companies. And so we got another company, maybe it was 3 years ago, I don't even remember. But anyway, we got another company that was like a bigger company in Indianapolis that does like neighborhoods like this. And then they came out and nobody liked this company. I mean, everybody was like complaining about this company. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really notice it. I mean, other than them like blowing stuff up and down the walkway when I tell them, please don't blow stuff on my walkway because I don't have any dirt on my walkway. So then when they're blowing, it's just like dust and it's all over the chairs and stuff like that. I mean, our yard is so small. I mean, in the back, I mean, it's just easy peasy. It's just back and forth, and it's always, you know, whatever. But in the front, I mean, with this huge tree, I mean, I'm not really paying attention to 10 feet of yard, you know what I mean? And so, like, everybody else is, like, real bent out of shape about it, and how the yard looks. And, I mean, my neighbor across the street said that one of the reasons that he wanted to move into this neighborhood was because of how beautiful the landscaping was. He was like, one of the reasons why we picked this neighborhood is because the landscaping was beautiful, the lawns were beautiful, and things like that. Like, we have built-in water sprinklers in the yard that I don't know that they have, like, maybe they worked the first year we were here. I mean, I remember them working when my mom was living here, but I don't remember ever using them. We don't have any control over them. They just come on at a certain time. Well, at some point, they just turned them off, and they stopped using them. I don't know when. But you're also not supposed to put water sprinklers in your yard to water your yard. It's like you're not supposed to do that either. So then that means that you're just, you know, like a lot of people, because it's like water conservation, whatever, you're just depending. I don't, like, a lot of people complain about, like, the yards don't look green enough. And I mean, it's whatever. You hear a lot of these complaints about the yard. I just don't really notice stuff like that, you know? So anyway, we got the second company. The other company had, like, done our yards for years. I think they closed down. I think they closed down or got another owner. I should actually look them up and see. I think let me see. I think they closed down or got another owner. Everybody loved them so much. I don't see them pulling up, which is really interesting. Yeah, I'm not seeing them at all, so they must have closed down. It was Kencut, was who our yard was. I don't see a website for them, or I think they closed down. But anyway, they're who did it's Kencut Tree Service, but it's not the same thing. It was a landscape, it's spelled differently. So they did our yards forever and loved them. It's like the one year that her grandma called us in because we didn't do our walkways. And so she called the HOA board on us, and then we had like 2 weeks to do it or whatever. And I was not going to do it until she did her front area walk, because then her stuff would blow. This is kind of like a joke between she and I now. Because then her stuff was blowing in and stuff was growing in our walkway. So neither one of us did it. Well, they came out and, because they were like, we got this notice that if you didn't, I think it was like $150. They're like, if you do not do your walkway, then Kencut's gonna do it, and they'll weed it and they'll mulch it, and then but you'll have to pay $150 because you're bad. Is basically what it was. Well, I woke up one day, whatever day they were gonna do it, or I don't know, that expired or whatever, and I walked out there and it was beautiful. I was like, oh, I paid $500 one year for somebody to do that. I was like, if I knew that this thing would be done in like 2 hours or something like that, I mean, literally it was done in like 2 or 4 hours. If I knew this would be done in like 2 hours, I can't remember exactly how it went. But anyway, I was like, if I knew this would be done so quick and would look this beautiful all summer long, and they completely mulched it, I didn't have to carry or buy the mulch, you know, or sweep it up off the walkway. I mean, they perfectly did all the mulch, and it was all beautifully weeded. I was like, if I had known that, like, I would have paid them $150 a month ago to do it. You know what I mean? It's hard to find people that will do, like, you know, small jobs like that. So anyway, I need to, as I was thinking about this, I was like, I need to find somebody, because remember that woman last year that's like this master gardener? She put me on her list. I forgot about this kind of drama, that when I finally got a hold of her, she's like, oh, I can fit you in like in July. I was like, in July? No, girl. And I ended up doing it myself. This year, I plan to do it myself. I plan to just get the mulch and do it all myself. But I'm kind of excited about it. I mean, when the day comes, mark my words, I will be so over it. I'll be like, I do not want to do this yard. I do not want to do this. I'll be over it when the day comes. I know that right now, okay? But in, like, right now, reading the books and thinking of myself as a master gardener, I'm really excited about it right now, but I know when it comes, I'll be like, oh my God, I gotta clean that walkway. My plan this year is to start cleaning it a little bit of time earlier, because I usually wait until like everything has like grown, and then it's like this massive job, not even a massive job. But my plan is to kind of like clean it, you know, consistently throughout the summer, so. But I also, like, I'll pick the weeds, but the other stuff I want to leave because I kind of want it to be like a messy whatever. I mean, it's going to be pretty. It's going to be a pretty garden, but, I mean, I don't want just like weeds growing everywhere and stuff like that. But anyway, so I think Ken Cut closed down or something like that. You know what? I actually want to see it and look. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. I mean, it's not pulling up anything on here. I mean, it's pulling up, like, reviews, but it's not pulling up. Oh, it was bought out. It's now part of this other company. It was bought out. Okay, so that's when I think they decided to go with another company. I think we got a bid, like a lower bid. So we went with this other company. Well, then their days were never consistent. When they said they were going to come, and this is the thing in like the neighborhood here, like everybody moves their cars when the landscapers come. Everybody does this. Everybody like covers their gardening because they don't want their stuff disturbed and whatever. So it was this, like, if they said they were coming out on a Tuesday, they come out on a Thursday. It was this huge mess. I mean, everybody was real upset about it. They said that the crew, they just like never worked and that they were rude. It was actually, that was one of the guys that had the blower outside, and I was outside with Boo Radley. And the guy, like, thought it was real funny, and Boo Radley kind of, like, went like that and was, like, real scared. I said, don't you ever do that to my dog again. I said, you don't need to come into our yard at all, ever. And he just laughed and walked down the street. I was so pissed. So there were a lot of people that were complaining about things like that, you know, like, they would find, like, people just, like, they were sitting, like, on their patio chairs, like, just taking a break. And so, I mean, it was weirdness. So anyway, so then we got rid of that company. And so, like, to get rid of the company, this is what we have to do. Okay, so there's a whole, like, ballot that's put out and explains that the board has decided not to go with this company anymore, right? Then these are the options, and these are their bids. And so we don't just go with the lowest bidder. It's like they'll say the prices and which one do we want to vote on. This is one thing that people will spend more money on, is the landscaping. So then we couldn't really find a company for the neighborhood, probably at that point, because our neighborhood didn't have a great reputation from all the people complaining. So I think we had a hard time, or I think maybe, like, we had signed with them again, and then at the last minute, like, I can't remember how it happened, but we didn't really know what we were going to do. So she was like, I have this friend of mine, because remember when I was talking about it, I was like, is it like two guys on a lawnmower? She had these friends that were retired, and like they started this or a friend that started a landscaping company. So it was like a favor that she did for her friend. But then they would do all this other stuff, like tree pruning and all this kind of stuff, which we're already paying for somebody to do tree pruning. They were fine. I mean, the guys, I will say this, that worked out here, I think it was like 5 guys and 1 woman. They were super nice. They were really, really polite. They were very, very nice. Real talkative, real friendly. If you'd ask them anything about your yard or whatever, they would, you know, talk to you. My neighbor a couple times had to ask them to, like, move their trucks and stuff like that, and they would, like, instantly, like, stop what they were doing and move their trucks so they could, like, get out of their driveways and stuff like that. They were super, super nice, friendly guys. But the yard just doesn't look great. But to be honest with you, I don't know that I really think it has a lot to do with the landscaping company. You know, I just don't. I think it's just, I mean, the yards are old. It's just, you know, I mean, in older areas of Indianapolis, the yards look very similar to ours. You know, you go to, like, newer areas of brand new homes where they've just, like, laid sod, you know, a month ago, it looks beautiful. So anyway, lots of HOA drama getting ready for this summer. I'm excited. Are you all excited about the HOA drama videos? The thing is, I can never predict what the big drama is going to be for the year. I don't feel like it's going to be with the pool. I do feel like I think the beginning will be the pickleball courts, but I think we're going to have more drama than that. I'm not really sure what the drama is going to be yet, but it's going to be interesting to see what the drama is going to be this summer. I'm kind of excited to see. We've had like probably 4 new people move in, and the neighbor, I found out about the neighbors next door to my neighbors across the street. So I said, do you know who's moving in? And he was like, it's a man and a woman. They're not married. I was like, ooh, sinners. See, that's a big deal to some people in this neighborhood. Not to all of us, not to any of our, but he just kind of laughed. He's like, yeah, they're really, really nice. And he's like, they're redoing a lot of the condo because the guy that lived in there before, he had not, like, he moved in like when my mom moved in like 1994 or 1995, and hadn't done like any remodeling to it whatsoever. So they're doing like, they did all the flooring. They're down to the painting. So he said that he thinks, they're like, I said, how old are they? Because they're like your age or maybe a couple years older. And he said they're definitely younger for this neighborhood. I was like, okay, that's a good win for that. We get like somebody my age in here, you know? And so, I mean, not that I don't like the older people, but it's nice. You know, like my neighbors next door, my neighbor on the corner that are retired, like they're just retired, you know? I mean, they're closer to my age and stuff like that. So, but he's like, no, you'll really like them. He's like, they're really, really nice. He was like, I think they're like trying to like figure out a date that they're going to move in and stuff like that. It's a cute condo. It's a really, really cute condo. So I think they're going to be moving in soon. So that'll be a thing because there's been like 4 new people that have moved in this neighborhood. I mean, our neighborhood is small, you guys. And so there's like 4 new people that have moved in here over the winter, maybe 5 or 6. And so it's like, that's always like, do you know this person? Have you met this person? And whatever. It's always really, really interesting. So that'll be interesting this summer. I can't wait. I hope they come to the pool. I always like to meet the new people. So her friend, okay. So she's this really good friend of hers from high school that incidentally used to work with my ex. Okay. So she, her friend and her friend's son would come over and they would go to the pool. And that's how I ended up meeting her friend. And then they would like barbecue out in the back, you know, stuff like that. And they would have like dinner back there and whatever. And so she would ask Alex and I if we wanted to come over for dinner. We didn't usually do that and whatever. But we got to know her daughter, her friend. So we were at the pool one day and her friend was up there and she wasn't. Did I tell this story? Maybe. And she was with this woman. And I said, oh, you're not with her? And she's like, no, I'm with my stepmom. And she's like, my dad and my stepmom moved in here about a year ago. And so she introduced me to her stepmom, who's like my age. Love this woman. She's so fantastic. And so we became like instant friends. And also instant Facebook friends. Because that's what you do when you're my age. So now when I walk by her house, because I walk by their house, and she's always like out there and stuff like that, and I was like, hey, are you? She's like, I can't wait till the summer, or the pool this summer. I'm like, me too. And then she introduced her husband to me, and I introduced Alex to her and her husband. They're really, really nice. And so, yeah, so her husband's a little bit, like, a little bit older. So her husband's probably like in his mid to late 60s, and she's like a little bit older than me. But they are so sweet and so fun. And so I met them last summer. And so her friend comes there and brings her son to the pool and stuff like that. But anyway, so I'm excited to see my friends at the pool. I really want to use the pool a lot this summer, at night and during the day. I really miss the pool. I'm really, really excited about it. We're trying to kind of figure out like trips right now, like what we want to do. Like we haven't really talked about an anniversary trip. We've kind of talked about literally a little bit like a birthday trip, like mine or his. We don't really know how we're going to do it. We know we're going to do San Diego. We also have Miami coming up at the end of this month. So that's exciting. But we don't really know what trips we're going to take yet. And I told Alex, I said, I'm good just to sit here this whole summer and go to the pool and, you know, read outside and stuff like that. But we also want to take some trips. So, yeah. And I've kind of like backburnered. I'm still praying on the dog stuff, but I kind of backburnered it until we do figure out what we're going to do this summer, how long we're going to be gone, and things like that. So, yeah. So last night, we went over to Carlos and Liliana's. I couldn't believe it. Like, I, you know, got the vlog done. I uploaded it while I was gone, had all that done, all my videos posted, took a shower, and I was ready, and I looked at the clock, and I was like, Alex, like, I'm right on time. And he was like, I know. He's like, because he was like, do you need more time to get ready? I was like, no. He's like, you can take more time. He's like, I mean, we'll probably be the first ones over there, because everybody's always running late, you know? And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I've got enough time. He was like, okay. So, we left and just dressed real casual because I knew it was going to be really casual. And we stopped at the gas station and I got a fountain pop, Diet Pepsi. and then a big one too. And yes, I did drink the whole thing last night. I'm like so weird about my fountain pops now because I love them so much. And then and then that's where I got the lighters and I got something to review as well. And then we went to Carlos and Liliana's, and we got there. The only person that was there besides us was Alex's mom. She had just gotten there. So we came in, we hugged everybody. They had like a bunch of cheese and some sandwiches out and like hummus and all this kind of stuff. And then they had like tres leches cake for Liliana and stuff like that. Alex's, so then after us, well, around the same time that we came there, no. One of Liliana's friends was already there. That usually comes with her husband and her kids, but they were at home. So she was just by herself. And then another one of Liliana's friends, they're all from Venezuela, another one of Liliana's friends came. And her husband that usually comes, he was not there, but her two sons were there. And her one son is best friends with Carlitos, and her other son, and they're the exact same ages as them too, and her other son is best friends with Sebastian. So they were just kind of like playing and talking. The two older ones kept on like running, like Carlitos and like his friend kept on running out, and like they kind of hung out with us a little bit. It's funny as they get older that they like want to hang out with like the family, you know, because like when Carlitos was younger, he definitely didn't want to like hang out with the family. He was like in his room, you know, like doing stuff, playing video games. Now that's Sebastian and the other one were like playing, I don't know, some video game on the Nintendo Switch or something like that. But anyway, actually talked to their mom for a long time last night, and then Alex's aunt, his uncle did not come. His aunt and his grandma and his cousin came. And that was it. It wasn't really that big of a group. I feel like one other friend came. Maybe, yes, one other friend of Liliana's came like an hour later. And it was just really, really super laid back. It was really nice. We got there, we're supposed to be there at 9. We got there before 9. And we stayed there till, well, Alex's aunt, uncle, and grandma left. And Alex's mom was, she was getting ready to leave. And so then when Alex's aunt, uncle, and grandma left, and right after that was when Liliana's friends left. So it was really like Alex and I and his mom and Carlos and Liliana. And so I said to Alex, I said, I'm getting really tired. He was like, we can leave anytime. So we left. I think it was like 12:45. I think I posted my vlog like right after, we got in like right after 1 o'clock. And then when I got home, Alex went upstairs. He was like, I'm exhausted. So he like went right to bed. And he also didn't know if they were doing, because they were supposed to like, their plans, they were going to do breakfast this morning, but they ended up doing like a later lunch and stuff like that. So, they had like all these plans they were going to do today, and they ended up like shifting them later because I think that they got up, all of them got up late or something like that. So anyway, I went upstairs. I posted my vlog, and then I went upstairs and I changed into my comfy pajamas and stuff like that. And then I came downstairs, I lit all my candles and did all that stuff. And then I called and talked to Nikki to see how her birthday was going and stuff like that. And then we decided that we weren't going to do any puzzles. I was like, girl, let's just not do any puzzles. It's getting late. I think I talked to her a long time. It was almost 2. And I think I got off the phone with her or something like that. And she was like, yeah. She was like, I just want to kind of enjoy some TV and stuff tonight. I was like, yeah, it's your birthday. You do what you want to do. So anyway, so talked to her. Had talked to Tanya earlier in the evening. And then I got done. And then I came inside. I was like, I know it's late, but I like want to read. And so I read like 3 of they're not chapters, they're just like stories in the Late Migrations, 3 or 4 of them. And then I read Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeiffer. I am so into that book. I probably read like 40 or 50 pages last night. And then I was like, okay, I want to start watching something. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted to watch. I had like Matlock and Okay, the battery died. I was sitting here and I was just like talking, and all of a sudden I didn't even see, so if I don't have my reading glasses on, sometimes I can't see if it's flashing or not, and I didn't see that the battery was flashing, and all of a sudden it just like, the camera like, it shut off and I was like, okay, so the battery ended a little shorter today than it usually does. But anyway, then I went in the kitchen to get another battery, and then I was like looking through the batteries because one battery is charging. The other battery was laying down. I had pulled it out of the plug, and I was like, is this battery charged? Is it not charged? And then I was like, well, you don't really have any other options because the one battery is already charging. The other battery, the one that just died, has to be charged, so you have to use this third one. So I'm on the third one now. Oh my God, you know, I just remembered. I think this is like the 3rd time I've remembered it. I will forget as soon as I get done with this vlog. Remember when I was sitting outside and I was vlogging and I found that battery in my pocket? That fourth battery. I've got to go and get that coat. Is it over? No, it's in the closet. I've got to go get that battery out of that pocket in my coat, so I have 4 batteries. So anyway, I got to go get that. So anyway, now I'm back. Okay, so TV shows. So I've still got a lot of TV shows to watch from this week. I have Found, Matlock, Elsbeth, Southern Hospitality, Murder Under the Friday Night Lights. But last night, I was like, okay, do you want to watch Elsbeth? Do you want to watch Found? Like, I didn't really want to watch Found. I'm kind of over Found, if you want to know the truth. Like, I am trying to hang in there so long. This is what happens to me with these shows, okay? Like, Alex and I will start watching a show together. This happened to us with Revenge. This happened to us with How to Get Away with Murder. This happened to us with Jane the Virgin. I mean, he ended up watching all those seasons of it. Pretty Little Liars, the original one. I watched like a season of it, part of the second season. I can tell you where I ended it on every single season because I remember. Pretty Little Liars, after the first episode of season 2, I was out. I thought the show was stupid. But the redo, I've never watched all the seasons of it. Alex told me it's a waste of time. But the redo of it, Original Sin, I think it just got canceled. But I really like those versions of it. I remember where I stopped watching on all of them. But this is the thing. Alex keeps on watching them and I stop. He's not watching Found, so that's not one of his shows. But I get into it, and then it feels almost kind of like a labor to continue to watch a show. Do you ever feel like that? Like, I don't want to watch a show that I feel like, okay, I have to watch Found. I'm starting to feel that way with Found. I don't know what it is. The things I loved about the show at the beginning, I actually probably should make a Peter Watches TV video about this, but the things I loved about it at the beginning are the things that, like Gabrielle, who's like the main star of it, like at the beginning I loved her and her story, but now she almost kind of seems a little arrogant to me. I don't know. And then, like, all the characters have changed so drastically since it started, and not really necessarily in a great way. I love Zeke, that does the computer stuff. I love Lacey, the girl that was kidnapped with Gabrielle. The police officer that worked with Gabrielle, they have this, like, romantic interest thing, and then they just ended that. I don't even know why they just ended that. It was kind of like this romantic interest thing, and then now he's dating somebody else, and they just never really went back to that again. The Sir storyline, I am so over it. What they needed to do with the Sir storyline was they needed to, if you haven't watched the show, I'll end it right here. You don't know what I'm talking about, but if you watch it, the Sir storyline, to last 2 seasons is a lot. They need to end it after 2 seasons and get back to what the show is about, which is about this group of people that are hired to find missing people. The show on that alone does not need a backstory of Sir. It just doesn't. The backstory of Sir needs to be over. I like the guy that plays Sir. I like him. The guy that was on Saved by the Bell or whatever. That Mark, whatever, Gosselaar or whatever it is. I like him in that role, but like, give him a spinoff or something. It's too much for the show. So I always feel like Found is like this, like, I feel like I have to watch it. If it doesn't get better, I don't know that I'm going to watch next season. You know, it's interesting to me because they cancel shows like Octavia Spencer and Truth Be Told, which was fantastically done. And then they keep shows alive like Found, which, you know what, I should actually look and see if Found got renewed for a 3rd season. Let me look and see. Found, well, it's not even over yet. Renewed for season 3. Let's see what it says. Will there be a Found Season 3? Although no formal announcement has been made, we can predict that the show's main characters will likely be back. I don't really understand why. 2 days ago, is a new episode of Found on tonight? Why would they even have that? Dark Wind starts on Sunday. I cannot wait. Mosley and Associates is taking a break this week as Season 2 of NBC's Found takes a brief hiatus. Oh, I don't have to watch it this week. Woo! Hallelujah! You know when there is a show that you are thankful that is on a break. Like Sister Wives, I'm kind of starting to miss. You know what I mean? And do the coverage of. I am missing Sister Wives. The hit Missing Persons drama created, showrun, and executive producer will return next Thursday, March 13th with a truly new dropping episode. Really? Jaw-dropping? We haven't seen one of those in a while. Missing While Seeking Asylum. all we can really tell you about season 2, episode 15. Okay, this is the thing about the show, though. It does really talk a lot about really important issues. That's what I love about it. So I think for that reason, they talk a lot about marginalized communities, oppressed communities. They talk a lot about diversity on the show. I love that. They have a lot of diverse characters on the show. Mark Paul Gosselaar is what his name is. And Shanola Hampton plays Gabrielle. I like her. I don't know. Like, they're starting to make her a little bit unlikable. And I don't think that that's what they wanted to do with this main character. I think they're making her relatable. But the other characters didn't like her for a majority of the season. And then it makes you kind of question if you like her or not, if that makes sense. But anyway, so I don't have to watch that this week. So I can hit that one off my list. And then I've got Southern Hospitality, Murder on the Friday Night Lights. So I've got those shows to watch. But then, last night, I started watching, did I say this already? Station 11. I was like, you gotta pick a show. You can't do an episode of Ghost, episode of this. I really was gonna watch Murder on the Friday Night Lights. But I ended up watching, I'm halfway through episode 6 of Station 11. Was I telling somebody this on the phone today? I'm trying to think of who I talked to today. It was like telling about this, or I've already vlogged about this. I love the show. I think the show is fantastically done. But the way that they do it, I just wish they would do it a little bit quicker. Like, we're on episode 6, and episode 5 was all about, so this is what they do. So, the first episode is about what happens to the world. The second episode is like where they are now. The third episode goes back in time and explains how they got to where they are now. The fourth episode goes back in time and explains to what happened to one of the characters. The fifth episode goes back and talks about what happens in episode 2 of where they are now and where this person is from. And then episode 6 is it's back to where we are now. It's very kind of like a Leah Moriarty book, but like in show, like Big Little Lies, which, by the way, there was a new Leah Moriarty. Did I say this in a phone call? Or the Anniversary. It's called the something Anniversary. I have the book because I looked at it last night. I must not have been vlogging when I was talking about this because I saw it come up. I think I saw it come up on my Instagram. Because I was like, do I have this book? It comes out March like 12th or 21st or something. The Wedding Anniversary or the Anniversary or something like that. Where is it at? The Last Anniversary comes out. So the show comes out. I don't know if it's on Peacock or Paramount. Let's look and see. The Last Anniversary. The Last Anniversary is a new Australian TV series based on Leah Moriarty's novel of the same name. Set in the fictional Scribbly Gum Island, exploring themes of family, motherhood, and secrets through the lens of a mystery. It doesn't say, what does it say when it's coming out? March 30th on AMC. So now I'm kind of like, do I want to read the book first? Because this is where I'm at in my life now. Sometimes I don't always want to read the book first. Sometimes I'd rather watch the show than read the book and know what's going to happen in the show. So I don't know if I'm going to read the book or not. If I do, that's probably going to be one of my next reads so I can get it done before March 30th. I do love Leah Moriarty. So, you know, I read Big Little Lies. It didn't really ruin the show for me. I don't think I read 9 Perfect Strangers, and I liked that show. Apples, Apples May Fall, Apples Never Fall. I have it right here in front of me. Hold on. Apples Never Fall. I watched that one, and I thought it was fantastically done, and I finished it here. When did I finish it? If I can't pull it up, I don't know. But anyway, so, that was a long book, too. So yeah, I mean, maybe I'll read it. I don't know. I love her writing so much. But okay, Station 11 is I can kind of tell that it's formulated the same way, that they're like telling all these backstories on the characters, and then at the end they're going to bring all the characters together. I really, really like it. I love any kind of apocalyptic show. So I've got 7, 8, 9, and 10 and half of episode 6. So I've got 4.5 episodes of that to watch. And then Ghosts, I love. Like anytime in between stuff, I just put Ghosts on because I love that show so much. So Ghosts, I have that as well to watch. And then I have been adding so many shows to my list, you guys. Like on the apps, I just add them, and I don't even put them on my list anymore because I have so many shows to binge. In 2025, just recently, I added School Spirit Season 2 I haven't watched, Just One Look, the new Harlan Coben show, Paradise on Hulu. Somebody recommended to me 1889. I want to watch Grosse Pointe Garden Society, Women of the Dead. Mara recommended to me The Honey Party on Peacock, Bailin' Out Loud. Nikki and Tanya are both watching that, and they're really liking it. Yellow Jackets, I haven't started season 2 yet. Zero Day on Netflix. The Chestnut Man is coming out with a season 2, by the way. I want to watch that. The Calendar Killer is a movie on Prime. Top of the Lake. I mean, I've got all these. And then with each streaming app, I've got like a list of like probably 30 shows that I want to watch. And some of them that have just come out recently. So I'm like, I've got all these shows to watch. And true crime documentaries, the Manson one just dropped. I don't really have an interest that much in knowing anything more about the Manson one. Did anybody watch it? Is it good? I don't really care. I mean, why are we... It's interesting to me that all these, like... There are so many true crime stories that have never gotten attention, that are open cases that need a lot of attention brought to them. And we're talking about Charles Manson. You know, I mean, like... The O.J. Simpson trial. Okay, that documentary has been done a million times. It's like the John Benet Ramsey one. I said this, and I'll say it again. I don't want to see another John Benet Ramsey documentary unless they say, this is what happened, this is who did it, and we have evidence of it. 100% factual evidence. Like, I don't want to see another John Benet Ramsey documentary. It's kind of similar with the O.J. Simpson stuff. It's like, why are we continuing to... I mean, I thought the documentary was well done, but it's like, why do we continue to relive this stuff over and over? I, like, enjoy watching the stuff, but it's like, why? The Charles Manson stuff, I have no interest in whatsoever. Like, hardly at all. I always wanted to read Helter Skelter. It's actually, I think it's still up there. Yeah, it's down there on the third shelf. I always wanted to read Helter Skelter. Tanya would talk about how she read it when she was in high school with her, like, covers up and, like, the flashlight underneath her blankets, how scared she was. I started it a couple times, if you guys remember this, years ago, and I would sit out and they would talk about Celia Drive, and I would hear these leaves blowing in the street, and I would get so scared I was going to read it that whole summer. I actually even bought it on Audible, too. How many hours is it? It's like 51 hours or something like that. And I was like, I am going to read... Helter Skelter. Here it is, Helter Skelter. In your library, let's look it up and see. It is 26 hours and 29 minutes. But here's the thing that's interesting is, I don't know why, but after Charles Manson passed away, I had like no interest in the story whatsoever anymore. I recently watched, what's the Mindhunter show? They talk about Charles Manson in that one. I don't know, there's just like some cases that I just, like the BTK killer, I don't care. The Zodiac killer is another one. I don't want to see another documentary, and apparently they're working on right now. I don't want to see another documentary about the Zodiac killer that's going to relive all the stuff that we already know about it. You know, the one serial killer that I've never read or watched anything on is the Green River Killer. What's the guy, why can't I think of his name? People said he was really good looking. I can't think of his name. It was the first book that we ever read in the True Crime Book Club. Stranger Beside Me was the book. I can't think of... Ann Rule was the guy's name. Ted Bundy. I don't care to read anything about Ted Bundy. I started listening to those Ted Bundy tapes. I couldn't listen to those Ted Bundy tapes. The BTK killer, like I said, I don't care to ever read anything about the BTK killer again. I really do wish, they keep on hinting out that they're going to like do another season of Mindhunter. That's completely false. They're not going to do another season of Mindhunter. The reason is it's too expensive and to film it. I thought it was done really, really well. I'm actually surprised I liked Mindhunter. I watched both seasons of it. I'm actually surprised I liked it as much as I did. But I will tell you, if you're looking for a show to binge watch this weekend, on Sunday on AMC, if you have AMC, you might be able to watch it other places. I don't know. Let me see if it's available other places. This is the show that I am going to recommend to you right now. Watch online. Okay. So it's Dark Winds, and you can watch it on... Dark Winds is on Netflix? It is? Huh, I didn't know that. Is it really? Are both seasons on Netflix? Why did I watch it on... Did I watch it on... I think I watched it on AMC. Hold on a second. This new show, Medusa, I just had. Oh, you guys want to hear my list over here? Okay, where's my list? How do you even find your list? My Netflix. Can you find your list from this? My list, here it is. I have the Charles Manson one on there because I think people would want to watch it for me to talk about on my Peter Watches TV channel. Medusa, Midnight in the Switchgrass, Chaos, The Manson Murders, Just One Look, Woman of the Dead, Collateral, Toxic Town, The Night Agent, Zero Day, To Catch a Killer, The Snow Girl Season 2, Love is Blind, I probably will never watch, Apple Cider Vinegar, Trial by Fire, The Search for Instagram's Worst Con Artist. Tell me if any of these are good. Deadwind, Cassandra, Watcher, Surviving Black Hawk Down. I don't know why I have The Walking Dead on here. Probably because I watched it before. I've already watched all of it. The Last Night at Tremor Beach. The Recruit, The Chestnut Man, Squid Game. I still haven't watched Squid Game. Okay, so I want to look on here and see. Dark Winds is on here. Well, this season won't be coming out on Netflix. It'll be coming to... Here it is. Are both seasons on here? Oh my... Well, season 1 I watched on Netflix. Season 2... It looks like I watched both of them on Netflix. Seriously? I thought I watched it on AMC. Somebody's like, no, Peter, we remember, and you watched it on Netflix. Okay, well, season 3 is starting, and I don't believe that season 3 will be on Netflix. I believe season 3 will be on AMC, but I could be wrong about that. But the show you want to binge watch, because season 3 comes out this Sunday, is Dark Winds. If you haven't watched season 1 or season 2 of Dark Winds, it is so fantastic. It is so good. Yeah, it is. It's about Navajo tribal police solving mysteries and serving justice as a reservation is besieged by a series of increasingly violent crimes in the 1970s. It is so, so, so well done. It's one of my favorite shows of life. So if you've never seen it, you should definitely check out Dark Winds. Like I said, it's on Philo, Roku, Netflix. I've never even heard of Acorn. Amazon, Apple, AMC, YouTube TV. So you got all these places to watch it. That would be my #1 show that I would recommend for this weekend. Yeah. And with that, I didn't realize that it's getting later. So I'm going to get off here, and I'm going to get these videos up. The light just went real bright. I'm going to get these videos up, and then, yeah, get these videos up and get the vlog going, and that's about it. So I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Saturday, and that if nobody else, and also, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Don't forget to set your clocks. We lose an hour tonight. Well, if you're in a daylight savings time place, which we are in Indiana. So the clocks will spring forward. I think it's at 2 a.m. Here, we'll do this really quick, for those of you that don't know, because I have to look it up. I think like at 2 a.m., it becomes 3 a.m. Is that how it works? Daylight savings time tonight. How does it work? Do you know what's so funny is? I'm not the only person that's Googled it, because it comes up. How does the time change work in the spring? In the spring, the clocks move forward 1 hour, meaning the sun sets. This means it's going to be like, you know, it'll be light outside earlier, which is a good thing. Meaning the sun sets an hour later in the evening and rises an hour later in the morning. Digital clocks, like the ones on cell phones, will automatically change. Okay, but what if you have to change your clocks? And it's like, I think it's at, do you gain or lose? Okay. What time does it start? I think it's 2 a.m., right? What time does it... Is there a start to it? Sunday, March 20... Okay, well, already we know that. Oh, it says... Okay, get the whole date. 2 hours ago. Okay, clocks across the U.S. will jump from 1:59 a.m. to 3 a.m. Sunday. So, at 2 a.m. is really 3 a.m. Do you get it? Just look at your... If you have a phone... Do you have a phone? How are you watching this video if you don't have a phone, or if you have a computer, if you have a tablet, it'll all the times will change. If you have a TV, it'll all change. So anyway, now we know. All right, I'm gonna get off here now. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Saturday. Like I said, if nobody else is told, now that we have been educated, I already knew that, but I needed the reminder. If nobody else has told you this today, I need this reminder. I love you. Tell somebody else that you love them too. Pass it on. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.